colors. Today we are doing another doll video. Why? Every single time, my guy. We kind of match today, right? Kind of same colors. We are going to be doing another custom doll video. There we go. I got this doll and we're gonna make her into Betty Boop. I don't know why I've been on like a weird Betty Boop kick lately. I've always known of Betty Boop, duh. And especially being in animation, like I majored in animation, so we had to take animation history. So I know all about like Fleischer Studios and Max Fleischer and Betty Boop and everything. But also there's like a point where it becomes kind of like, just like pop culture that fades into the background, and then you see it on like 70-year-old women's purses, which like is fine, but I'm just saying like you just kind of see it everywhere and it becomes like, oh, it's just Betty Boop. But for whatever reason, I feel like I looked at her with fresh eyes and I was like, she's kind of like really cute though. I kind of really love her. So I want to make a little Betty Boop doll. I want to bring Betty Boop back into the, I was gonna say into the mainstream, but she's like super mainstream. Into the, I want to like rediscover Betty Boop in, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just think she's cute, that's it. I specifically picked this doll for a very specific reason, actually. And on the box art back here, you can see she has like these little like platform shoes. I'm hoping that that's what's in these boxes here, because Betty Boop has little mules on, and so I was like, okay, well I need shoes that are kind of like mules, so I'm gonna look for a doll that has those similar shoes so I can like repaint them. It's because I ran into this issue last time with this doll here. I'm gonna repaint her. Also, I don't know why, but this doll low-key looks like my friend Lindsay. Lindsay, if you're watching, this doll reminds me of you. But yeah, I'm gonna turn her into Betty Boop. All right, let's get started. Okay, also, before I get started, I want to show you this. Look at this really cute book I got from Kinokuniya. It's called the 80s Girly Design Collection. And it has like, look at how cute all of this stuff is in here. I got it for inspo. It's super cute, super inspiring. I use it to look for like product ideas and layout stuff. It's so cute. I love it. And then also I got these weird little stickers. I don't know who he is, but I love him. And the stickers are fuzzy. I don't know if you can tell. They're fuzzy. Like, look at this cool little monkey guy. And they're just like little stickers. Aren't they cute? I think he's from Russia, because that looks like Russian. Anyway, just wanted to show those things because they're cute. Let's unbox this Goyle. Here she is, the doll in all her glory. I normally don't like these dolls because, as one of my followers once said, they're like the breaky breeds of the doll world. They're like pugs. Why is their face so flat? Yeah, I'm not a crazy big fan, but I like their little bodies. I think she'll be a really cute Betty Boop though. Look at her tiny little hands. They're very cute. Also, I'm hoping that these are the shoes. Is she wearing the shoes? No. Okay. One of these has to be the shoes. Oh, no, they're glasses. Oh, cool girl. These are probably the shoes. Okay, well, these are a little more elaborate than I need, but that's okay, because I think maybe what I can do is like cut all of these parts off. So all of these little strappies and everything, I'll cut that off and then we can repaint that. And then, yeah, that's close enough. I don't know what's in here. Probably a purse. We don't really need it. Yeah, it's a purse. Little daisy purse. It's actually pretty cute. Yes? She got little nips. Yo, she got little nips. Girl, your hips. I mean, I get it. 'Cause same. I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna cut off all of her hair because we are going to give her a new hairstyle and we're gonna take the paint off.
So since I've been on a Betty Boop kick, I also did some art of her, which I will share right here. And while I work on this face up, I wanted to give you some history behind Betty Boop, because I ended up learning a lot about the history of Betty Boop as I worked on this project. Because I posted this illustration, I got a lot of comments about the origins of Betty Boop, and when I started looking into it, I realized that it's actually very complicated and it's not as cut and dry as like random internet blogs and posts have claimed. The myth that is floating around on the internet right now is that Betty Boop is actually 100% based off of Baby Esther, who was a Harlem jazz singer in the 20s and 30s. But the actual history, because I ended up doing a deep dive on this, is way more convoluted than that. And so I figured I would give you all kind of the deep dive on what I learned about her. If you have any other information that I might have missed, let me know in the comments because I'd love to learn more. But I will also provide in my little description box down below all of the links to where I got all of this information from. So we all know Betty Boop as the cute little flapper pinup with the short dress, the garter belt, black hair, and she would dance and sing and go boop boop bee doop boop. Betty Boop was created by Fleischer Studios, which was another studio that was kind of in competition with Disney at the time. But they were also one of the first studios. They made animation before Disney was even around. One of the many series of cartoons Fleischer Studios produced was a series called the Talkertoons. There was a character in this called Bimbo who was kind of like a little dog guy. And on August 9th, 1930, he gained a love interest in the form of a tall poodle named Betty Boop in a cartoon called Dizzy Dishes. The first ever rendition of Betty Boop was actually a poodle. According to Real Rundown, in the end of 1931, Bimbo would be redrawn as a cuter little dog, while Betty would slowly transform into a more slender poodle and then into a human. Betty Boop's little baby voice, her style, and her moves were very reminiscent of many different types of jazz age performers, but especially Helen Kane, who was a popular jazz performer at the time. She ended up suing Fleischer and Paramount Pictures, claiming that Betty Boop was a deliberate caricature of her baby vamp persona. She said that her voice, her looks, and her mannerisms were all uniquely hers, and that Betty Boop's appearance and her style of scat singing, including the word boop, were also hers, and that basically Betty Boop was a ripoff of her. Even though scat-style singing had been popularized by artists like Clara Bow and the Duncan Sisters, as well as a variety of Harlem singers at that time. And while it was popularized by white singers, it really was the staple for Black performers. There was Clarence Williams, Gertrude Saunders, Florence Mills, and Baby Esther Jones, and they all used that similar technique and those mannerisms. The problem is the true origin story of Helen Keane and the baby vamp vibes and everything else that goes into it. What was the actual inspiration for Betty Boop? Well, as we've kind of gone through here, it's more convoluted than that because also you have to take into account racism during the 20s and 30s. That jazz style and the vampy jazz style, which was so popular in Black cultures and in Black music at that time, would have been harder to portray in animation because of racism. Helen Keane's musical style was even attributed to Baby Esther, as stated in the court case where Baby Esther's manager came in and said that Helen Keane was at one of the shows that Baby Esther performed before she started doing her little baby vamp style, and was claiming that Helen Keane actually ripped off Baby Esther. Baby Esther had been performing in that style since 1928, but Baby Esther was a child at that time and was not a mature woman, and it was her manager who testified for her during the court case. But according to History.com, this claim was corroborated by Kane's manager, Lou Bolton, who also provided sound recordings of baby Esther singing during the trial. So it is very, very likely that Helen Kane did get inspired, I use in loose terms, by baby Esther and felt like she could just take that type of singing style and apply it to herself. But to be honest, Max Fleischer wasn't aware of any of this until the court case came to be. In fact, Grim Natwick, who is claimed to be the original creator of Betty Boop, cited Helen Kane and just teenage flapper girls as his inspo. He didn't own the rights to Betty. Fleischer owned the rights, but none of them knew who baby Esther was. Since both Grimm and Fleischer were not aware of baby Esther's existence, unfortunately, and also baby Esther was a child at the time, they think that she was around 5 to 7. Like I had previously stated, her appearance is based off of flapper girls of the 20s, as well as Helen Keane, Clara Bow, and Mae Questel. So while her original character design was always intended to be white, I can understand the virality of uncovering the stolen black voices underneath Helen Kane, who was one of Betty Boop's inspirations. Fleischer Studios put out a statement on the matter and says it the best. They state, "We also recognize that the viral spread of this misinformation was born of a sincere effort to revive and lift up the voices and stories of so many long-neglected African-American artists." So, with that said, let's talk a bit about who baby Esther was and the impact that Black voices had on the jazz community. Esther Lee Jones, aka Baby Esther, was born in Chicago in or around 1919. She was billed as a kiddie act, so she was supposed to stay young for marketability reasons, so her age has never been completely certain. She was often billed as a quote-unquote mini version of Florence Mills. Florence Mills was a singer with a wondrous high-pitched voice, unique dance movements, and comedic timing that allowed her to become unparalleled during the Harlem Renaissance. In 1928, Baby Esther was booked at the Everglades, which was a restaurant and an after-hours club in Manhattan. In April of that year, Helen Kane went to that club and saw Baby Esther's act. This was later brought up during the court case between Helen Kane and Fleischer Studios. Helen claimed that Fleischer stole her likeness, but then Esther's manager ended up coming to the court case stating that Helen Kane actually stole baby Esther's act and likeness in a way. Baby Esther did really well during this time at the Everglades, but unfortunately after that, police had arrested her father and her agent for essentially allowing a minor to perform in an after-hours club where there's alcohol being served and everything without a permit, which kind of shows like what the rights were for children at that time. Like, yeah, you could definitely come and perform if you have a permit. They fled to Europe, and by early 1929, she was billed as Little Esther throughout her whole European tour. Like many African American artists in the 1920s, Baby Esther found access to opportunities, success, and respect in Europe that were not available to her in the US. Eventually, she was hailed as the highest paid child performer in the world, according to a bunch of press. But unfortunately, she was virtually unknown in the US. Her popularity was really only throughout Europe and South America. By the age of 15, when she really couldn't keep up with the kiddie act and child star act, she ended up stepping away from the spotlight, and after that there really are not a lot of records of her life, or at least anything that's been uncovered so far. Basically, Baby Esther had a really interesting story, and it is a shame that so many Black voices are often looked over, especially due to the history of the US and how we have treated Black voices throughout that time. So I can understand the frustration around this character. Well, I can understand as best as I can, I will say, because I am a white creator, so I will never fully, truly understand. But it does bring me to one of my final points, which is, what if we kind of just created a character that honors and highlights the legacies, trials, and stories of Black jazz artists of the 1920s? Like a new character that was all wiped under the rug through racism and appropriation. I think it would be kind of cool to have like a friend for Betty, like, I don't know, name her something like Billy Bop. So it's like Betty Boop and Billy Bop, and Billy Bop could be Betty's Harlem jazz friend who is wildly successful. Base her off of a bunch of successful Black musicians of that time. You reference Baby Esther, reference one of my favorites, Josephine Baker. I love her to death. She's amazing. But I think it would be really cool to design a whole new character that really pulls from all of those really amazing, amazing artists of that time and lets that shine. You know what I mean? I only have sketches right now of who I'm currently calling Billy Bop. But I feel like this would be such a fun character to explore. So let me know down below if you want to see me explore this character and explore her design and her inspiration and everything, and if you want to go on that journey with me. And also, I thought maybe once I flesh out this character, I could make a second doll of maybe that character, or even just, you know, a darker skinned Betty Boop as well, because I also think that regardless of Betty's weird history, I think she's such a cool character that I feel like anyone should be able to be inspired by and make art of and make, you know, design choices around. Because, I mean, even looking through references of Betty, she has so many different fashion style changes and hair changes and everything. And so I don't think that, you know, she has to be a certain way this whole time. I think anyone can really make her how they feel like she should be represented. So let me know if you think I should do a second doll and then have two variations, or if I should just do a second doll of who I'm currently calling Billy Bop. I don't know. I think it kind of has a nice little ring to it because there's Betty Boop, Billy Bop, and then they could be friends. But I think that would be kind of fun to do and fun to explore. So yeah, just leave a comment down below if you found this at all interesting, or if I have anything wrong. I mean, I am more than willing to hear new information and be open to other information. But yeah, just leave information down below if you think I got anything wrong or right. Also, quick note before I jump into the rest of this doll making, I saw this photo floating around everywhere. This is not a photo of Esther. This is a model named Olya, and she is a Russian model, and this was taken in 2008. And with all of that information given to you, let us move on to the rest of the doll making. I have this lacy fabric. Obviously it's too big, but I kind of think what I want to do is maybe cut like the littlest bit along here so it's kind of like a cute garter belt and put it around her leg, because I think that'll be cute. Obviously I'm gonna have to trim it, but this length I'll trim a little extra just in case, just make sure it fits. Obviously this is too big, but we're gonna trim as close to this as we can with my tiny scissors. Like this, maybe? Hopefully this works. Yeah. Cool. But then I think I need a little heart. A little heart. I don't really like that. I'm wondering, I have these little roses instead. I don't know, I kind of like the rose. I'm gonna do the rose because I think it's cuter, even though it's not authentic, but we're taking some liberties with her outfit, so.
I mean, come on. I think that's a little cuter. Okay, the final thing we gotta do is take off the little stuff on the shoes, like this extra stuff. I'm gonna spray it with Mr. Super Clear and then repaint it because I don't want them to be pink. I want them to be red. So I'm just gonna cut off these little pieces because I don't want them. I'm gonna go spray these and paint them.
Please enjoy this clip of me attempting to put the earrings into her ears and really, really struggling with it. And with all of this said and done, let us move on to the reveal.
Okay, let's talk about the finished doll. I look very casual today. I'm wearing one of my best friend's merch. You should check out her stuff. It's really cute. Why do you always want to come up when I'm talking? You're just lying here, but the minute I start talking, you want to come up here. So let's talk the finished doll. Let's talk about the things that I like and the things that I don't like. I'm actually very happy with how she turned out. I think she's so cute. I don't normally personally like the LOL dolls because I feel like their faces are so flat. I feel like, here, you can probably see it against my sweater. One of my followers said it the best, that they're the breaky breeds of the doll world, aka like pugs, which is accurate. But I think it works really well for Betty Boop because she has like that kind of face in general. Like her face is very flat and large eyes and everything. So I think in that case, this doll works super well for this character. I did embellish her dress. I didn't know exactly how I wanted to do like the little scallop parts of her dress. And like I knew how to do the scallop, but then the parts that like flick out. Can I help you? The scallop parts that flip out, I didn't really know how to do. So when I was at Joann's, I did come across this like kind of fabric, this kind of ruffle that looked just like pleats of a skirt, and I thought that would be actually kind of cute. And then since she's from the 20s, I did want to do a drop waist, as you saw, but it was so hard with her body type to do a drop waist. So I ended up putting the big band around her waist here instead. Let me take the puppy out of her hands. I mean, I know that the character doesn't have this kind of band and bow, but I thought it was cute. I thought it would be a cute little embellishment. And then I really like how her little garter came out. And her hair's pretty cute too. Some things I don't like, I mean, I'm still working on becoming okay at making doll clothes. It's really hard, you guys. I hate it. I had to do this bodice a few times, and then I was thinking of doing it again, and then I was like, I don't feel like redoing it multiple times. So it is what it is. I do like doing face-ups a lot though. They're really fun. I do really like the LOL dolls' bodies. They are very much my aesthetic. So I am pretty happy with that. I think the hair I could probably do a little better, but for the most part I think it's okay. Yeah, other than that, I'm actually very happy with how she turned out. I also want to talk about the little doggy that she has. I got this off of, I think it was eBay. I randomly came across it. It's a vintage dog. I don't know where the little box went. Exactly like the dog that she has, and I just happened to have this like tiny little dog because, as y'all know, I love dogs. And so I just happened to have this. So I took it out of its box and it's now her dog. And the fact that it has a little red collar and everything, it's just perfect. I don't know, it just happened to work really well. So it's her little pup now. So yeah. Well, other than that, I'm pretty happy with how she turned out. I really like her. I like doing these doll customization things a lot. They're really fun. So you'll probably see me doing more of them in the future. I guess last but not least, my pre-orders for my pinup book ends on the 14th, which I think if you're seeing this, it ends today. No, it ends Saturday. And if you are going to be at Lightbox Expo in, I think it's Pasadena, California, I'm going to be there and I will be vending. So come say hello to me. I'm gonna have some merch. I'm not gonna have as much merch as I would at like Dragon Con because I'm not local, but I will have stuff. So come out and see me. And yeah, that's about it. What do you think about her? Let me know down below what you like and don't like about her, and if you like these little doll mod things. I know I'm not as like amazing as a ton of other people. I recently came across Midnight, I think her name's Midnight Jewel, something like that, on YouTube, and I've been binging her content. It's really cute and it's made me want to do even more doll stuff. Let me know if you like it. If you want more doll content, let me know. Leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, that's about it. Bye-bye.